For anyone wondering what we're now doing, I have designed a criteria, a way of ranking all of the maps of Escape from Tarkov from best to worst. But I wanted to do it with a twist. We're not going to do it the standard, normal way. No. I decided to employ AI to help me redesign this. So instead of me just doing the criteria and then picking all the maps, I kind of did a video on this on TikTok already a while back where I rated my best to worst maps. And it was with a similar material, but instead I got Chat GPT to do it, and then I wanted to give me extensive information of why Chat GPT decided to choose those maps and why. So I did that, input the information, and I made you guys a lovely slideshow where you guys can now understand and read it much easier. And I want some so extra pay attention to this, guys, because not only is this a cool slideshow, but I spent time before the stream to set this up, get this ready, and to put together the slideshow for you guys. But let me just put it up here because we're actually on the final slide here. We don't want to be ruining the ending before we even start now, do we? So we can start on the first slide. Look at the effort that I went through, right, to design this sexy slideshow. I even went to the trouble of not putting capital letters on each of them to catch your eyes. I just typed it normally, huh? Okay. Was accurate rating of all the Tarkov maps, pretty much. So this is like AI rating, not even my own rating. Streets number 1. Well, it's funny you say that. So this is Chat GPT who ranks Tarkov maps. This is the criteria of how I set it up, right? So score criteria. I did it on map size and density, loot quality and quantity. I just read that the wrong way around. We've got spawn points and balance, a PvP experience, and replayability. So literally all I did is like I input this information and just said like, tell me what ChatGPT thinks. I don't understand how ChatGPT knows. I don't know if ChatGPT's ever played Tarkov before, but it seems to have some pretty good extensive information on this. So yeah, the cam isn't a bit in the way. What cam? Action bar can go. And I'll move my camera over here. That works. A bear? Move Twitch cam. Sorry, yeah, I was getting confused. Right, this is we're a Twitch cam or on the other side now. All right. Pretty sure these aren't in order. So like they're not in order from best to worst, but it's just like whatever it is. So it just be like, and then at the end we'll tell you like what it actually ranks them all best to worst by. You can try and add it up in your head as you go along, but I guarantee you probably won't be able to do it. But you'll be able to kind of get an idea. But for the first map, we started off with drum roll please. Streets of Tarkov. Wow, what a surprise. What a surprise. Whether it might be number 1, it might not be, but you're hard to say. But yeah, you started off with saying map size and density. It was a 5 out of 5. Streets of Tarkov offers a sprawling urban environment with a high density of buildings and streets, providing players with the ample opportunities for exploration and engagements. Do we agree with that? 5 out of 5 for map size and density for streets. I would actually say this is probably one of the points where I think I actually agree with it. Map size and density for streets is actually really good, to be fair. Pretty mid. You think mid? Even better Chad's loot is scavs. Can make bread. I mean, that's true. It makes bank on streets as a scav. 100% makes it. That's why I'm thinking map size and density. Like, it's not... Streets is one of those maps where it's like, it's not too big, but at the same time, it's not too small, you know? So it's like a good size from one side or the other. It doesn't like make you... If you like wanted to run from one side or the other, it's not like a million miles away. And obviously, loads of the buildings have like loads of lootable. So I'd say the density is pretty decent. So I agree. I agree with this one. I think it's pretty good. Loot quantity and quality. 4.5 out of 5. Map features a diverse range of loot spawns, including high quality items spread throughout its various locations, ensuring players have access to valuable loot. I also agree with this. I think it probably should be 5 out of 5. Loot should be 6 out of 5. Yeah, I think it should be 5 out of 5 or 6 out of 5, I should say. It is Lando followers, it is. Yeah, I think personally 5 out of 5. Because like the thing with streets is what I like about it so much is the fact that like there's not all the players that aren't being drawn to one specific place. It's not just like everyone's being drawn over to Lexus. But obviously you got the boss there, what draws people in. But like there's so many other parts of the map that are just so full of really high tier loot. Like you got relax room, and you've got the room next to it with all the high tier loot. You know, you've got Pinewood, and then you've got the new mall area, which has got loads of cool tech spawns behind it as well. Like you've got the laboratory area was got some good spawns and intelligence folders and those kind of area to loot. You know, go to the other side of the map, you know, you've got Concordia and like I said, Lexos and all of that. Like every part of the map has got like some good lootable areas with obviously high quality as well. So it's like definitely a 5 out of 5. Can't agree with that more. Spawn points and balances are 3.5 out of 5. While the map provides multiple spawn points, Some may be closer to high traffic areas, potentially leading to early game conflicts. However, overall spawns balance is relatively fair. I would also say 3.5 out of 5. And I'm just saying this, not because, like, all of the maps, like, I'm comparing it to the other ones. So I think Streets definitely could have improvements. That's why I'm saying not 5 out of 5. Maybe a 3. Because, like, there are other maps that just have far, far worse spawn points. But the area I'm kind of thinking of that's really bad with spawns is around the cinema area. Like, there's like 5 or 6 spawns with a really open area that are all really close to one another. And, like, you're pretty much guaranteed to end up fighting somebody if somebody spawns there. Health Resort. Health Resort is good for that area, yeah. Like some maps, yeah. Yeah, near cinema. Near cinema is like 100% like the worst area for spawns on Streets by, like, I'm just trying to think if there are other areas what I think are worse than that. Nah, definitely the cinema area. Pinewood is also a pain in the ass. What Pinewood spawns do you have? You got the one that's near, actually just outside of Pinewood, and then you've got the one that's in the mall opposite, and then you've got the one that's just down the road at Sewer, right? I don't think they're that close because, like, yeah, if you went left to right, you probably would run into somebody, but if you decide to push into the map, you're not as likely to run into anybody, so it's not that bad, but I don't think it's that bad. Anyway, next point, PvP experience. 4.5 out of 5. Streets offers a intense and dynamic PvP encounter with a mix of close quarters, combat, urban areas, and long-range engagements in open spaces, providing a thrilling experience for players. I also agree with this. I think actually it might be a 5 out of 5. I think Streets might have some of the best PvP in the game. Not saying like if you're just thinking like labs or customs where it's close range. I mean having a good mix. I think PvP experience should be based upon a mix of both, not just all out of one. And I think Streets has the best of that. So many buildings with really, really close quarters engagements. Loads of like open roads with long range, and then you've got loads of points as well where it's mid-range engagement. It's a very, very good mix of both, I'd say. UAF, Roadblock, and Customs, I always spawn there and get rushed by 3 sides every time. Yeah, UAF, Roadblock, that's a terrible spawn. You have to kind of like run it into the map, really. The mall, the little buildings behind the Boogler and Terror Group. Yeah, that's not great either. I think, yeah, if you're going to say probably the worst areas of Streets for map, it's definitely going to be, yeah, that area at the mall, and then it's also going to be the front side where the cinema is. I think that's the worst. Replayability, 4.5 out of 5. With varied terrain, strategic locations, dynamic ends. I agree. Like I said, great PvP equals replayability. Loads of loot quantity was really good as well. And like a very balanced map, I'd say. Like overall, 4.5 out of 5. I agree with that. I think the ChatGPT is correct on this one. Right, next one is going to be a laboratory. Map size and density, 4.5 out of 5. I think for a small map, labs is very, very well sized. Like you can definitely fight people immediately, but if you want to play labs slowly, like for essentially a PvP-oriented map, it's quite large at the same time with the multi-tier levels of the levels with the underground basement area thingy. You think 3 out of 5? Why? Why 3 out of 5? You don't think 4? At least 4.5? You think some of the spawns are too close? Everything else, 1. And the loot, 5. Is that coming from a place of hate, though? The thing is, do you hate labs because you hate labs, or do you hate labs because of cheaters? You got to come up from this from like a scientific analyst mindset, you know. Loot is normally vacuumed. We're not talking about cheaters. If we're talking about cheaters, a little bit different, yeah. Labs loot is mid. I just said what I said. Okay. I actually kind of do agree with you a little bit, and there's a reason for that. Laboratory, for essentially the end game map, supposedly supposed to be the end game map, you can make more money on Streets. That's like, and I'm thinking to myself, like, if this is supposed to be like the be-all, the best of the best, all the military grade equipment, the military grade drugs, all that kind of stuff was meant to be high value. You can make more money on Streets reliably as well. And you haven't got to pay to go there. Normally vacuum facts. The only shit you need for labs is the intel, and then the others for things for the hideouts. Yeah. And I think as well for the loot too as well, what I also think brings the score down for loot as well is the fact that all of the key cards on that map are shit. They're so fucking expensive, and they're so fucking bad. Like Relax Room, for instance, on Streets. My God, the key costs 100k for 2 uses. You make a minimum 500k to a mil to up to 2 mil from 1 hit of that room. I can hit black. What's the cheapest key card or whatever? I've hit it 20 times, never found analytics in there. And I just find stims. I'll probably make 200k, 300k from him. And then you go and buy red, and you probably make 100 to 200k. Like, I know they nerfed them because of cheaters, but like, there are cheaters on Streets, you know, so. And Blue Folder, I guess, for fun finding that. What, blue folder on labs? Does that spawn on labs? I thought that was only that one spawn on Lighthouse. Am I wrong? Going for labs, the hideout items for PvP for sure. That's what's wrong. True. Spawn points and balance, 3.5 out of 5. I think I somewhat agree with that. Spawn points could definitely have like a little bit more variation to them, I think. Some of them are really close to each other, but it's hard to like make spawn points really balanced, and especially on a map so small, because it is obviously a small map in comparison. PvP experience, 5 out of 5. 100% I agree with that, as long as you're fighting fair people. If you're fighting cheaters, where like it happens quite often, don't know if I agree with that. So yeah, PvP experience is great as long as you're not factoring in cheaters, but I guess that's the same with any map. Replayability, 4.5 out of 5. Yeah, good PvP and good loot. So it's always going to be a high replayability, I think. Reserve. Map size and density. I actually agree with the 5 out of 5 here. Could be a hot take. Could be a hot take. I'm not talking about spawn points, but map size and density. I think, again, Reserve is like not a really stupidly oversized map. And there's a lot of like stuff to fill that map, like from one side or the other, is pretty damn good with the sizing of it. It says offers a large varied environment of mix above ground and underground areas, providing players with diverse gameplay opportunities. I agree with that. I think I agree with that. Loot quantity and quality. I think Reserve could actually do with a buff for technically a military base. I don't think the loot is that good. Like, there are quite a few keys on that map. They're just useless. Like, no one ever holds the keys for them because the keys are terrible. They're predictive, but also give you a multiple avenues to where to go. The spawns and labs, yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. Found more GPUs and reserves than labs. Where are you finding these GPUs? I just think, like, some of the keys on labs, on reserve, could do with being buffed. Like, there are a lot of keys that are just really useless. Like, the only 2 keys you really want to take to that map are the 2 Markroom keys. That's literally it. Pawn building ones. I don't think they're that good. They're just not that good. Especially for the price. Some of them are like a quest locked, aren't they? Like, some of you need for quests and they're like a mil plus. You don't get anything out of them, really. Dome safe room key. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. That is a fair point. That is a fair point. Dome safe room key. That is a good one. That's probably another one that you want to hold on you as well. But apart from those, I can't really think of any other ones. So I actually think the loot quantity and quality is actually a 3 for me. Definitely on the lower side. 3.5. I'd say 3.5. I'd say 3.5. Spawn points and balancing. That is always a fun one. 2.5. While Reserve provides multiple spawn points, some may feel less favorable due to their proximity to high traffic areas or potential for early game conflicts. Spawn point balance may be less consistent compared to other maps. I mean, let's say about that one. I think Reserve has probably like it's not the worst spawns in the entire game, I don't think, but I definitely think it's got an area with the worst spawn in the entire game. And we all know what we're talking about. It's going to be the bunker area in between the 2 pawn buildings. If you spawn there and 2 other teams spawn at the next one across from you, and then also at the PMC extract, the Scavs PMC extract, you feel pretty doomed when you run out of there, and it's like a 50-50 chance that when you spawn there, that you are dead off spawn. Like, nothing you can do about it, you are dead. And there are a few other areas where are a little bit iffy as well on that map too as well. They could definitely do with some rebalancing with the spawns, but it's like, where do they put them? I think it's just like terrible map design more than anything else. Now, reserve loot is crazy good. Yesterday I pulled 2 mil in 2 raids, but I'm thinking consistency, Sonic. I think you can pull really, really good stuff from reserve 100%. Like, they have some good spawn areas or whatever, but I think like it's not consistent enough in comparison to, say, like streets or whatever, or labs. Like, if you kill everybody on labs and loot the whole map, you are making fucking money. Same with streets. You haven't even got to loot the whole map. There's certain areas you're pulling like guaranteed money every single raid you go in on that. But reserve, I find, is a little hit and miss, and I think some of the keys could be buffed to make them better, and then having more loot in those areas. Hey, like I said, hot topic. We've all got our own opinions. That's why I thought it'd be cool to do this on stream, and I could hear what you guys' opinions are on that kind of stuff. But yeah, PvP experience, 4.5 out of 5. Yes, I actually really enjoy fighting on this map. So I think I might say a 4, maybe a 4. I think the only reason I possibly say a 4 is the underground area. Like, there's that long corridor hallways. You're going from, like, so when you're actually fighting in the underground area around where the button is, it's pretty cool. But as soon as you leave that area to go to the other bit, it's just, like, so many, like, campy choke points where it's just not designed very well. There could be, like, a bit of a spread out with more rooms and kind of, like, segregating apart from each other so you can kind of pass without bumping into people, where it essentially just guarantees that if you bump into somebody down there, or if someone's camping it, for instance, you just die every time. Reserve, I ever get one tap by the end of the 30 minutes fight. Yeah, a lot of scavs on that map. Or people sitting up on dome. But that's what the point of the zone is, isn't it? Replayability, 4.4 out of 5. I think replayability is down for me. And you know what? I'm going to say it's a 2.5. It's a 2.5 for me. And the only reason it's a 2.5 for me is extractions. Like, it puts me off that map so much, knowing that I have to bring a paracord with me and I have to take the repel extract pretty much every time. And that is the only available extract for me. Like, I loved most of the other parts of the map apart from the spawns. The fighting in it's good. The loot's pretty decent. Like, it's quite a cool map as well, like, to look at. But the Red Rebel, you just have to have it to play that map. And, like, if I can't be asked to put on, like, a rig or change my gear or whatever, you know, sometimes I'll have a kit already ready and I won't have, like, a tactical rig. I'll just have a body armor on me. And I'll be like, oh, well, I'm not playing reserve because I don't want to swap armor. I can't be asked. So I just don't play it because of that. And I think that turns me off it a lot. It needs more, like, available extracts. And ones that are permanently up instead of a fucking button that you've got to press and then run across the map and just tell everybody to go camp the door as you wait there and die as soon as you get there. Red Rebel was basically a need if you want to play reserve. 100%. No without a doubt. Interchange. Now, I'm mad about this. This was the one that came up when she spewed the information out to me. I saw it and I was like, I don't like how highly it rated this map. Because if anyone's been around a long time, they know me. I fucking hate this map with a burning passion. I hate Interchange. I think it's terrible. I really do. Map size and density is a 4.5 out of 5. I agree. The map Interchange is like from one side to the other. It's not so big. There's a lot. Obviously, the mall takes up probably what 75% of the map, and it is very dense. So like in that aspect, I agree. Next bit, loot quantity and quality, 4.5 out of 5. No fucking way. Interchange is terrible loot nowadays. Like, Kibba is okay now. We made a video on it a while back and we tested it. It's okay. Like, but you got to go through so many hoops to even open it without turning the alarm on and telling people that you're even in there to begin with. Yeah, 2.5. I agree. 2.5. Like, even the tech stores don't really spawn that often anymore with, like, GPUs and the high stuff. The LEDX spawn, what was in the upstairs. What's the upstairs room called opposite Tech Light? That used to be insane for pulling LEDXs. And then they fucking nerfed the shit out of it. It was like the only like good room on that map, and then they nerfed it. Medical, yeah, medical. Like medical used to be like the shit, and then they just nerfed it into the ground. And like it was Ultra Med, yeah, it was like it used to be really good. They just nerfed the shit out of it, and it was just terrible. And like apart from that, where else on that map is good? Unless you take a massive backpack in and just fucking hoover up all the food, and then just sell that on the flea market, then you can make money that way. But that's about it. Kibba is the best though. Kibba is actually not bad. I did a video on it recently, and I looted it like, did it 10 times in a row, and I made good money from it. But the fact of the matter is, you have to first, to be able to get in there and get out safely without getting killed by somebody, because it's obviously right in the middle of the map, you need to first turn the power on, if you got the spawn near it, or hope somebody else does it, because I think 10% of the fucking player base need to change when they get that spawn next to the power station, actually turn the power on. So you have to turn the power on, then you have to go into that computer room area behind, near Ollie, and then flip the switch to turn off the alarm. So then when you open Kibba, the alarm doesn't go off and tell everyone you're in there. It's just too much loops to go through, and apart from that, it's just all terrible. Big sad. Even the outside crates is good. Like, outside crates used to be good. They used to be good. When they had, Interchange was a good map to do stash running on to make money that way, but they nerfed the fuck out of that when they did the dynamic loot system. Dynamic loot system messed that up, and you can't run it anymore. That was like a really good way of making money. Also, the spawns are bad. Well, we're gonna get onto that. Yeah, power is the worst. It turns on. No one ever does it. By consistently find like 300k barrels and stuff like that. What do you mean, the stashes and stuff? I never find anything shit in those nowadays because they're just never there. They're just barely ever there anymore. Spawn points and balance, 3.5. Interchange provides multiple spawn points, but some may be closer to high traffic areas, potentially conflict zones. Spawn balancing may vary depending on players' location and chosen extraction points. What the fuck is Chat GPT been smoking? Interchange has the second worst spawns on any, I'd say it goes reserve, interchange, Lighthouse, in the worst spawns in the game. Literally, nearly every single spawn point in Interchange, you have to run into somebody to get into them all because everyone's going to the same place. Everyone's going to the same place. Everyone wants to go into them all. So you get like the 2 or 3 spawns that are kind of close to each other. It's like, oh, well, I'll just go left or I'll go right. I'll go left to To what? Nothing. To oblivion. There's nothing there. You have to go to the fucking mall. So it means that you have to run into people at the same time. So you just get killed in the first 30 seconds of spawning into it. It's terrible. W take. Yeah. ChatGPT's smoking that good stuff. Literally. Chat, I know how come up with that idea. 3.5 out of 5. No, more like a fucking 2 or a 1. Terrible. Into my fave, the spawns suck. Yes. PV experience, 4.5. I kind of agree, but I disagree. Okay, so if we're rating purely PvP experience inside the mall, 4 out of 5. Yes. I would even say 5. I probably had some of the most fun, like, back and forth fights with people, rotating different angles, different places on that map is the best inside the mall. But outside the mall, the PvP experience is terrible because, like I said, you're just... As soon as you start shooting out of that, shooting outside, PMCs are at the window looking at you from far trying to snipe you. Or if you're spawned, then you're just having shitty fights off spawn straight away. It's whoever's got, like, the fastest reaction speed wins. It's just terrible. Yeah, I tried doing the Plight and the Gazelles and it changed this wipe 4 times, died all times. Oh, that's so expensive, this wipe as well. That used to be not like so painful. That is so expensive nowadays. So goddamn expensive. I was spawning and killing a person within less than a minute inside of a mall. PvP is 5 out of 5. Yes. We'll do a part. PvP experience inside mall, 5 out of 5. Outside of the mall, 2 out of 5. Replayability, 3 out of 5, while interchange offers a unique, challenging experience. Layout and the limited variations of strategies may reduce in long-term replayability for most players. I'm going to go down to a 2 for replayability for me. And again, I'm saying the reason for this. Spawns are horrendous. And then obviously on top of that, it didn't touch on the extractions. Interchange is the most extract camp map on any map ever by a country mile, I would say. For me personally, that's all I found over the years. So like, in my mind, it's like, let's go interchange. Oh, let's die in the first 5 seconds. And if I do survive and have good PvP in the mall, I'll get killed by somebody waiting at the extract. And just my brain's like, no, fuck that map. I'm not playing it. That's my be all and end all on that one. That's what I'm saying. Chat GPT only give you the most common research for the answers it can find. Yeah, but it collaborate. It's like a hive mind. You gotta think Chat GPT is like the smartest person you ever met. So he'll take all the information and he'll put it together and be like, and he'll work out his ideas of that. But 100%. 10 out of 10 gameplay? Yeah, I'd say that. Because the only fucking free extracts is car set up. And the one you can wear a fucking bag. Oh, that bag one sucks. And people camp that too. I've seen people camp the no backpack extract. And it changes a lot better if you run keycard extraction seriously. Yeah, but again, the keycard extraction, I've made a video on this. I love the keycard extraction, but it requires the power to be on. So, for instance, if you want to turn the power on, and it's not been turned at the beginning of the map, because like you said, 10% of the fucking player base actually turns it on, you then have to run all the way out to the power station, where there's mostly people going to be sitting there camping it, because they love camping the car extraction, or people who are doing Shooterborn Heaven are sitting on the roof sniping, so you die. To then have to go back into it again, to go to the most, like, PvP-centric area in the map, to the middle, and then underground, to then take the extract, when you could have just left a normal place. There's just too many hurdles. Honestly, I genuinely believe Interchange would improve for me as a map if they remove the power. Or this. Bit of a change. So, within the first 10 minutes, if the power has not been turned on by somebody, so it's not on straight away, the power automatically turns itself on. So people can't rush those rooms straight away, like Kibber and all the other ones, like because they need the power required on 100%, or like the container outside in the parking lot, that's not on straight away for the first 10 minutes. If someone didn't turn the power on, then it's not on. So people can't hit them straight away as soon as they spawn or whatever. There's a chance for everybody to get. But after 10 minutes of in-raid time, the power should automatically come on. Like there's a breaker switch on a timer and it flips itself on. I think it would be much better. Haven't got power camp this wipe, but it is true. Had this happened a while ago. It does happen, yeah. And like I said, people doing Shooterborn, it's a great place to sit to get Shooterborn kills. So sniping shit. I don't see any point to run it and change it except for quests. That's essentially my point. Apart from some of the fighting in there. Yeah. I used the main interchange, but I only looted the around the since the stashes route. It's all whacked around now. Yeah, exactly. Stash routing, used to see people do that quite a lot in interchange, but it doesn't happen nowadays. Because like I said, because of the dynamic loot system, it's not a guarantee that like the stashes are even going to be there to begin with. Right. Next one, sorry. We said that one for a while. I had a lot to say about interchange, because I don't know if you can tell. I don't like that map very much. Shoreline. Map density size 4.5 out of 5. Don't know where to pull this up, that number out. Shoreline features a large and diverse environment with a mix of coastal areas, rural landscapes, and urban locations, providing players with plenty of space for exploration and combat. What the fuck? Shoreline is fire? What are you talking about? There are some good aspects of Shoreline, 100%, but map size and density, 4.5 out of 5? No! Shoreline is probably the worst offender of dead space on any map, where there's like so much of the map that is just unnecessary and not needed. and it's just pointless even being there in the first place. Shoreline's running simulator, exactly. You could literally cut Shoreline in half, and I generally believe it would make the map better. If they had from, like, I don't know, where the new area starts. No, get rid of the new area. Get rid of the new place they put in. Cut a line from where the power station bit is, straight down to the fucking sea from where the docks is. That part of the map, you should get rid of it. If they just got rid of that, I generally believe it would improve the map. I think the map size density for that one is probably like a 2. A 2. It's not dense at all, especially when you're running around in those open areas. There's nothing out there. There's nothing there. There's not even stuff to loot. Apart from some crates that now don't even spawn anymore. Maybe if there were rooms you could unlock without keys, then turn the power on. Again, like I said, other ways they could improve the map, but that's still pretty terrible. Loot, quantity, and quality, 4.5 out of 5. Again, this is one where I think I'm going to have to segregate it. Loot, quantity, and quality, if we're talking about the resort, it has probably some of the best loot in the game in one place. You got all the keys. You can make absolute bank from that. I agree, 4.5 out of 5. But you leave the resort, where is the money? Actually, sorry, I take this back. The new area they added in, the new camp, is very good. That is like, before they added that in, there was no other place on the map realistically that would spawn loot, apart from maybe the safes down at the docks. But like free safes, other than the entire resort up there with like 50 doors, all with good stuff locked behind them, you know? The new camp has GPU and Tetra spawn. Yeah, I'd say that's the only like saving grace I'd say now, is that new area has good loot. The village has like areas that you can get stuff with, but it's not high tier. Like the quantity's there for the village, but the quality's not really there. There's not really good stuff that you can get from that, apart from that one tech spawn in that building near the extract. Probably the only good thing about that. So yeah. No expansion does nothing for Shoreline. I don't think it does either. I don't like. They could have done a lot more with that map, I think. I feel like they could have done a lot more with that. The car extraction is nice, but expensive. It's just kind of meh. Expansive. Oh. Yeah, the car extraction is nice. I like that. I like... Shoreline has very good spawns. No, spawns. Very good extracts. Lots of really good extracts. Don't really get camped on it anymore. We used to have some issues with camping, but not so much nowadays. Shoreline spawns are bad. Yes. Shoreline spawn points and balance, 3.5 out of 5. I'd probably say it's a 3, maybe a little bit less. And there's 2 reasons for this. One, it's so weird that such a large map can have such terrible spawns, what I find so strange. How can they make such a running simulator map with such large map but have such horrendous spawns, especially on the river area? Like that area with the radio tower and stuff like that. It's just like, you end up fighting, you're pretty much guaranteed to fight somebody when you're down there. It's not the worst, but it's definitely not good. And then you've got the spawns that are near the resort. Obviously, when people spawn on Shoreline, they want to get to the resort. And if you get the resort spawns, you're guaranteed to make money pretty much, because you can run straight to the good key rooms, hit them before anybody even gets there. And that's done. Seems to be a common thing in the game. They just need to add like 100 spawns to every map and just make them ask randomly. No, I tell you the reason why the spawns are bad in Tarkov, right? And this is the general reason why they're all bad. BSG know this. The reason why the spawns are bad in Tarkov is because the maps themselves are based off real locations. They don't change them and affect them based on balancing. Like, they don't think about, that doesn't come into their mind when they design any of the maps in Tarkov. They don't think about, oh, how do we move certain things in certain places to make them balanced so there can be good spawn points. They don't do that. They look at, oh, this is a cool area. This would be a cool place to fight in. Let's design a map based on this location. And obviously, locations in real life aren't based off video game balancing. Like, they're just not. So that is exactly the reason why the balancing and the spawn issues and stuff like that are all a big thing in this game, because they're based off real locations. They're all based off real locations, so that's why. PvP experience, 4.5 out of 5. I actually agree with this. I enjoy PvP on Shoreline. Like I said, the outside engagement is fun when you actually have like long range engagement and go there for that specific thing. And then the close quarters fighting in the resort is also really fun. I enjoy it. I think it's good. I think a bigger problem is the spawns are fixed, so anyone with any amount if time of the game can absolutely shit on people. They don't know the maps. Yes. And I say this to people all the time. One of the best ways you can get better at Tarkov quickly is learning the spawns. Knowing if you've got a bad one or a good one, whether you need to run or hide or you run to a certain location really quickly can be a make or break point. Like fixing the custom spawns. Custom spawns actually, I don't think are actually horrendous considering the size of the map. If you can memorize the spawns on over a couple of it feels 3 kills. Yes. Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. Replayability, I actually think it's higher than this, 4.5 out of 5. Because, like I said, the PvP is fun, that I enjoy, and there's really good loot. Like I said, the resort makes that map more replayable. Spawn at certain points. Kind of. I think you're talking about like the bridge area. But the thing about customs is it has like 4 different ways of crossing that bridge. So you can kind of deny it, but you can't at the same time, depending on where you go. Customs is my favorite map for spawns. I just don't like the ones on the side of the big red. And trailer. Yes. Yeah, they're probably the worst ones in that. But there's a lot of spawns on that map, so it's not horrendous. Right, factory. Factory map size and density, 3.5 out of 5. I think I'm going to skip over factory because, like, it's hard to rate that map. It's the very first map they added in. It's essentially just designed not to make money. It's just for PvP. You go there to fight people. That's literally it. PvP experience, 5 out of 5. I don't know why it said 3 out of 5. Spawn points and balancing is, again, a 5. Like, you can't... And a map so small, like, all of the close spawns are pretty much just as close to each other as the others are. And then, obviously, the loot's going to be terrible. Factory is PvP heaven late game. It's literally... It's what it's designed for. That map is replayability, 3 out of 5. It's a 5 out of 5 replayability. People love... Pretty much nearly every player likes Factory just because they know what it's for. You go there to fucking kill people. That is it. No other part of that map is you just go there to murder people. Nothing else. The loot on scavs isn't too bad because no one hits the loot. Yeah, that too. If you want to farm scavs, it's a good way to do it as well. Customs. Right, my dear old baby customs. I have a long history of this map. It is one of my faves, if not my favorite. Map size and density, 3.5 out of 5. I think it's a 4.5. I think... For customs, it doesn't feel like a running simulator. It's very big. There's lots of areas to loot on that map. You've got the crack house. You've got the stronghold. You've got gas station. You've got dorms. You've got the back area of boilers and all those buildings. You know, you've got Big Red. And Big Red, probably that side of the map is the only thing that's not really lootable. But it's still good. Best map in the game. I kind of agree with you. If Streets wasn't as... If Streets... Okay... Right now, yes, Customs best map in the game for me, 100%, because it runs beautifully as well. Not only is it a great map, it runs perfectly too. Streets, if it could get the map to run as good as Customs, it would be a better map, personally. I wish skill matchmaking was a little bit more of a thing. Swear the past 3 days I've been running into 55 pluses with the 300 hours-ish plus. I don't think that makes sense in a game like Tarkov, though, Dash. I get where you're coming from like a fair point of view, but Tarkov has never been marketed as a fair game. It's never been marketed like that. It's supposed to be a grueling mess where you don't know what you're going to run into. You could be a solo. You could be playing against other 5-man teams. You know, it's never meant to be fair. And I don't think a skill-based matchmaking system would work. Yeah, loot quality and quantity, 3.5 out of 5. I'd actually up this. I'd say it's a 4. Custom doesn't have high tier loot, but there's a lot of loot. Like the super high tier doesn't really have that. Like you don't have like loads of Linux spawns, GPU spawns, you know, the big boy stuff. But it does have a lot of like mid-tier stuff and a lot of lootable areas. If Streets was optimized, yeah, Streets was optimized, it'd be the shit. Customs PvP free. You think free? I think Customs PvP is a 5. Personally, we haven't touched on spawn. We did kind of touch on spawn points, 3.5 out of 5. I'd probably say it's a 3.5 for me instead of a 3. Like it could have some improvements, but it's not horrendous. Like the spawns aren't bad in Customs to the point where I say, oh my god, the spawns are horrendous. But they're not. I don't think, oh my god, Customs has great spawns. But the PvP experience for me is a 5. It's got great mix between close range, medium range, long range. And that is what you want, a good mix of all 3. And it does it very well. I've never had a bad engagement apart from cheaters. Exactly, but we're not thinking of cheaters. This is talking about like actually rating the maps and halt themselves, not based upon the cheating issue obviously Tarkov has that we know. That's great. Replayability, 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5 for me. Replayability, 5 out of 5. Like I said, got the goons. You've got Rashalo's probably like actually an entertaining boss to fight. He's quite easy to kill to run over, but he's quite entertaining. PvP is really great. And the loot's pretty decent. I'd say either a 4.5 or a 5 out of 5 for replayability for me. Oh, and here we are. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Loot house. Loot house. Map size and density. 3.5 out of 5. Well, there I... I'd say it's probably a 2. It's probably a 2. You've got like 3 areas. Sorry, you've got the 2 chalets for the good places to go. The whole bottom side of Lighthouse, apart, like, we're not including, okay, we're not going to include the actual lighthouse in this because only like 0.5 of the of the, or like 0.5% of the player base can actually go to Lighthouse. And they ever do throughout the wipe. Majority of the player base, we're talking about the normal long ways width up, not including the Lighthouse, not including that in loot quality, quantity either. I'm just talking about the main one. Because like I said, majority of the player base can never even touch that part of the island. So there's no point including it. But you can 100% say most of it is not. It's just meh. Yeah, 100%. So if you're talking about the chalet area of Lighthouse, below that, there's nothing. It's all just open area space. Nothing really lootable. It's all absolute dog shit, apart from Merencar. Merencar is the only thing that's lootable, and it's one loot location pretty much. Everything else is terrible. Everything else is pretty much terrible. And then you've got the village area was okay, and then don't even get me started on the fucking water treatment plant. Jesus Christ. Like, they went so wrong with that map just purely because, like, they pretty much designed everything around the idea of everyone going to the water treatment plant, and it's just shit. Good loot, good PvP, great fun. Vinny, mate, I'm about to ban you, mate. I'm about to ban your ass. You just say Lighthouse is good. It's just insane for loot. Road camp, chalet, Lighthouse in Lion. But we're talking about map size and density. If we're talking about loot quantity and quality, I think it's definitely up there. It's definitely like a 3, number 4. It's got good loot, but it's only in certain places. It's not very like quantitied out. Spawn points and balance is a 1. I think Lighthouse has the worst spawns on any map ever designed in any game I've ever played in my entire life. Is that not facts or not? Do we agree on that one? Can we all agree on that one? Rogues will fuck you sideways if you look at them wrong way. Rogues can do one, man. They're terrible. Rogue camp was a sick idea. However, getting shot 15 times in the head at 0.01 milliseconds is ass. Yes. Yes. Gunner, it's your favorite. It's not. It's my favorite map, Labs. No, it's not. It's customs, actually. I'd say my favorite's customs. Yeah, spawn points and balance is a 1 for me. It's just an absolute 1. Right, PvP experience, again, is probably going to be a 1. Like, you have to run something. There's no real close range engagement because it's apart from when you get to the water treatment, the certain parts of the water treatment, and you would never take a close quarter gun to that map because you, for the 90% of the rest of it, you're just using long range. So like the PvP experience is terrible because there's no like close to medium range fights. It's all just from a mile away. Pretty much majority of the time until you fight the rogues close up, and that's about it. And replayability for me is definitely a 1. But again, like I said, overall, if we're talking about what ruins this map the most, is by far the rogues. I think the spawns are terrible, the loot is okay, but the rogues by far, without a shadow of a doubt, ruin that map beyond degree. The terrible, horrendous AI is just so bad. Like, I'm more scared of fighting rogues than I am of bosses, without a doubt. Loot house is not close range. It's not. It's just so far. It's right when it's nighttime, but could be even low daytime. Yeah, but you can't like say a map based off like doing the nighttime zone. But even at nighttime, like if they lock onto you, it's just instant death, and it's so hard to fight them. Like I said, people have pretty much designed like routes to cheesing them just to be able to get through them, and even then, you see people cheese the rogues and still get killed by them. I've seen so many like big experienced players, people playing this game for a long time, get absolutely ruined by rogues instantaneously. Can imagine what it's like for the average person, you know? I get ruined all the time. Rogues are Timmies at night. I don't really fight them at night time that often, but they are pretty. They can't see you, it's because it's better. Just the damp of rogues have the range across the map. They do, yeah. And the fact that they can shoot you from so long as well, like the bug, like with getting shot by the guy in the grenade launcher turret at the beach or on the spine. Like, what? What is that? It's just mad. Right, I think that was the last one as far as I'm aware, so we're now going to move on to the final part. The ratings from best to worst, Chat GPT. It is. So take a guess. Streets 1 on Chat GPT for points wise at number 1. I kind of see where it's coming from. I kind of agree with that. Reserve at number 2. I don't agree with that. Reserve is a good map. I do agree, but I think Labs is above that for me. And then with Customs being so far down the list, Customs third from bottom, Interchange and Shoreline being hit above that, Reserve is good. Reserve is a good map, but it's not second best map in the game. So why don't I do during the day? Well, exactly. You don't go there during the day because it's fucking busted. You have to go nighttime. But my God. And Factory being so low down. I think it's hard to rate Factory because like I said, because it is a PvP only map and it's rating it based off like loot pools and spawn areas. And obviously like, if you're rating it off there, it's going to put it low. Where's Woods? Oh yeah, shit. Where is Woods? We missed Woods, chat. Woods. Woods is not in the list. Woods is not in the list. It definitely was in my calculations. I must have put it Forgot to put it in there. Ground Zero. Ground Zero doesn't count. You can't rate a map on a map that no one can play. I've played Ground Zero like for the first day, no, 2 days of wipe, first 2 days of wipe, but I've never played it since because I can't play it. I can't play it. I'm not going there as a scav. There's no need for me to go there. Woods must be top 3. All right. Okay, so this is overall. We can see what overall is now. This is my rating now, and I'm going to add Woods into this. My personal best, right? It goes customs for me first. Then it goes straight to Tarkov. There's a very close second. Then Woods. I rate Woods next from that. Then I would say labs, reserve, factory, shoreline, interchange, lighthouse. That's my take. That's my ratings, if I'm going to say out of those. But yeah, Woods is in my top 3. I actually really like that map. Hot take. A lot of people don't like it. I really rate it. I think it's good. Good size-ish if you stick to the old area, not so much the new bit. Good loot on Woods. Very underrated. And I really like the PvP on that map. Nah, just playing. I played it once also. Okay, Woods is sick when you play. Don't sit in a bush with flares and pushies. Oh yeah, 100%. Well, I had one of those experiences the other day. I was fighting a guy who had a thermal. I knew he had a thermal because he killed Joe. And we looked at his account and we saw that he was using a thermal scope. And I had a fight with him for 15 minutes. I never saw him once. I just kept getting shot from really far away. And I couldn't tell where I was getting shot from. I killed his teammate. He was close. Or might have been his teammate, which might have been another random guy. It was like a 15-minute fight. I never saw the guy once. Never knew. Never saw him once. Don't know where he was. And he said a thermal and he was sitting really far away in a bush somewhere. And he kept moving. Remember pre-expansion Woods? It was a better map. I think if they added the scav village and the USET camp, yeah, that area, and then they got rid of the scav bunker and they got rid of the sunken village at the back, that would be good. I think Woods definitely could have done with a bit of an expansion because it was like a smaller map for an all outdoorsy map pretty much. But I say keep USET camp, keep the scav village, get rid of Scab Bunker, get rid of the sunken village at the back, and then bring it in there. That would be enough for me, I think. My opinion, anyway. All right, but anyway, there we have it. Overall, we've done it. We finished finito. But yeah, I want to see what people think about it, what they liked of it. Next time with bosses, what rating bosses from best to worst. ChatGPT rate bosses. Well, we'll see how the video performs. Because obviously I'm going to turn this into a YouTube video, just take what it is, and then just turn it into a vid, and then we can see what it thinks.